I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Boy, it seems as if I'm being sacrificed over here. No, that couldn't be true. And then you realize that it is true.
Hollywood is in straight panic mode right now. Behind closed doors, the vibe is tense, quiet, and nervous, and everyone can feel it. Mel Gibson just dropped what many people see as a final warning, and it sent the chill through the entire industry. His comments about the Epstein files and powerful Hollywood elites are making people pause, rewind, and listen closely because this is not just gossip anymore. Over the last few days, the internet has been on fire with shocking developments. First, that Diddy documentary blew open his inner circle and sparked serious conversations about influence and control behind the scenes. Then, after years of waiting, the Epstein files finally surfaced, and most people assumed they'd be useless, packed with heavy black redactions meant to hide everything important. But here's where things take a dark turn. What Mel Gibson pointed out links all of this together in a way that feels deeply unsettling. Those files were supposed to be sealed tight, with sensitive details hidden and unreadable, making sure nothing damaging could leak out to the public. Instead, the plan fell apart fast. Online sleuths noticed something shocking. With a simple copy and paste move, hidden text started appearing right in front of everyone's eyes. No advanced tech, no tricks, just overlooked flaws that exposed information many believed would never see daylight. Now, the truth is spreading across platforms at record speed. People are comparing notes, matching timelines, and calling out connections. Hollywood's silence feels louder than ever, and the pressure keeps building as more eyes focus on what was never meant to be seen.
I thought this was supposed to be the most advanced security system on the planet.
But that's only the start of this mess. In this video, you're about to uncover Mel Gibson's most unsettling warning yet about what's really going on behind locked doors in Hollywood. This isn't rumor talk or internet noise. This is about deep, uncomfortable links between the Epstein files and the entertainment industry that people have whispered about for years. You'll see why powerful elites are suddenly moving fast, scrambling to control the narrative and shut down questions before they grow any louder. There's a clear pattern here, and it's the same one people like Corey Feldman and Katt Williams have been pointing at for a long time. They didn't just speak randomly. They kept warning about a system that protects itself at all costs. So stay locked in, because this story keeps getting heavier. Let's rewind for a second. Mel didn't just wake up one day and decide to speak out. He was exposed to Hollywood early, back when he was still a young rising talent trying to understand how the industry worked. What he saw didn't sit right with him at all. Behind the red carpets and flashing cameras, there were things that didn't add up. Dark secrets, strange behavior, and a culture that felt off once you looked past the glam. Mel has openly said he was shocked by how deep it went, and once he started calling it out, the reaction was immediate. Hollywood didn't clap back publicly, they did something quieter. Projects disappeared, opportunities dried up, and his name slowly got pushed to the side. That's how the system moves when someone steps out of line.
This is a bizarre place. And it doesn't take very long, and I'm sure you've experienced this if you've stayed here for any length of time. You come in, you're fresh from the outside, you're off the boat, from the farm, still got shit on your shoes, you're in here, people are charmed by that you've still got shit on your shoes. They're charmed by the fresh approach you bring to it, and that's a real thing. But they're also stroking the shit out of you, licking you all over.
And yeah, this footage is old, but it hits way harder now. Mel straight up called Hollywood a bizarre place that doesn't take long to mess with your head.
And that's kind of good for you too.
Great.
But it doesn't take very long before you realize, or before it gets to you. It's cascading on you all the time. You can't get away from certain attitudes, from certain modes of behavior that this town and the industry dictate. And no matter how strong you are, when you come in off the farm with those convictions and a certain line of attack, no matter how strong you are going to be affected by this place. It's going to divert you from where you were going.
He said when you first arrive, you're fresh from the outside world, still with dirt on your shoes, not fully shaped by the system yet. At first, people are drawn to that energy, that raw vibe you bring in.
Sure.
You're going to be diverted. When I came over here, I was in my mid-20s.
Right.
The first time I really came over here. You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
And nobody was really bothering to explain it to me.
They don't.
And and I formed a bunch of opinions about the town and about the people in it that were like, surely that couldn't be. Because a whole place can't be like, you know.
But here's where it turns twisted. From day one, they're working you, shaping you, and pulling strings behind the scenes. Mel described it in a way that stuck with people, saying they're stroking you, making you feel special, licking you all over like you're the next big thing.
Weird town, you know, where the stranger wanders in and all the people are in the bar and they all shut up when he looks at them and they tell you don't go to the house on the hill. And it's like that. And then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm paranoid. I imagined that stuff. That couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like, could it? And then you find out later on the track that you were exactly on track with a lot of this stuff. Not specifically on track, but that you could, that some of your worst nightmares were real at the time, and you think, now this is what I mean by actually.
Sounds flattering at first, right? But that sweetness doesn't last long. Before you know it, the toxic mindset of the industry starts pouring down on you like a non-stop flood. No matter how solid your values are, no matter how grounded you think you are, this place slowly nudges you off your path.
Starting to swim up or downstream with the rest of the salmon, you know, eventually, if you stay here long enough, you'll find yourself doing that. And you have to, there's a way of doing it without doing it. That takes time. And it takes relaxation.
Not being uncomfortable about.
Not being uncomfortable. Realizing it for what it is.
Projecting.
Understanding what it is. Once you understand it, well, then you're not afraid of it anymore. So you can just walk around it, through it, and then get on with what you tried to get on with in the first place. A place like this can humiliate you. And it can be, it can humiliate you, it can be humbling. I mean,
Mel said it changes people quietly, step by step, until you barely recognize who you were before. Now here's where it gets unsettling.
It does rip your life to pieces.
Does it?
If you'll let it.
Yeah.
And it's always pounding at the walls. It's these little guys, these little heathens with no soul downstairs with horns on their head with a battering ram trying to like beat your walls in.
Yeah.
But that's your own devils, you know?
Yeah. I mean, as a matter of interest, do you think it's easier because you're an outsider who came in?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because it was glaring to me because I was an outsider who came in. But who isn't an outsider?
When Mel arrived in Hollywood in his mid-20s, he started having strange gut feelings about the place. Things were happening that didn't make sense, and nobody bothered to explain what was really going on behind closed doors. He said it felt like one of those creepy horror movie towns, the kind where you walk into a bar and everyone goes silent and stares, where someone leans in and warns you, you don't go to the house on the hill. At first, he thought he was just being paranoid. But later on, and this is the part that still chills people, Mel realized he wasn't imagining it at all. Some of his darkest suspicions turned out to be real. Let that sink in for a moment.
I had a gut full of the whole industry. I mean, it's a very strange place, Hollywood. But it's an odd place. And you imagine all these horror stories there that you think, boy, it seems as if I'm being sacrificed over here. No, that couldn't be true. And then you realize that it is true. And you have to, I just left for a while and took a couple of years off, bought a place down in Australia and started digging holes and putting up fences and birthing cattle and all this kind of stuff. And it was fun, you know, it was fun. It was great. And it was a good breather. You know?
Yeah. And then, of course, the comeback, what a comeback, Lethal Weapon. It wasn't bad, was it?
It was all right.
I had a gut full of the whole industry, Mel said, and he didn't mince words about it. He described Hollywood as a strange, off-balance place where your mind starts racing with dark thoughts. He admitted you begin imagining horror stories, wondering if you're being used or pushed aside in ways that don't feel right. At first, you tell yourself it can't be real, that you're overthinking it. Then comes the moment that hits hard, when you realize it actually is real. That realization is when Mel knew he had to step away. He didn't just take a short break, he fully removed himself. He left Hollywood for years, bought land in Australia, and traded studios for dirt and fences. He spent his days digging holes, fixing property, helping cattle give birth, and living simple farm life. That was his reset, his way of escaping the madness and reconnecting with something real. Now let's connect this to the Epstein files, because this is where everything overlaps. The newly released documents show deeper ties between Epstein and powerful figures than many expected. Bill Clinton appears repeatedly, with photos placing him with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell in social settings. The records also include testimony claiming Epstein once said Clinton likes them young, referring to girls, which is a direct quote contained in the documents. These claims are presented as allegations within the files, not legal conclusions. The records also confirm Epstein visited the White House and that Clinton flew on Epstein's private jet more times than previously acknowledged. That directly clashes with past public statements about limited contact.
One of the most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of our future is our children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime is awareness. Go see Sound of Freedom.
And it doesn't stop with politicians. The files include photos of major celebrities like Michael Jackson, Mick Jagger, Diana Ross, Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, and Richard Branson at Epstein-linked locations. Most are not accused of wrongdoing, but the images show how wide Epstein's social reach really was. To make it even stranger, critics point out that some documents were removed or heavily redacted shortly after release. Entire pages are blacked out, leaving one big question hanging in the air. What are they hiding and who are they protecting? This brings us right to the core of Mel Gibson's warning, and it's not easy to hear, but it matters. Mel Gibson shared a message that hit a nerve across Hollywood, and people are still talking about it. He spoke openly about what he called one of the most disturbing crimes in the world today, human trafficking, especially when it involves children, who he described as our future and our responsibility. He made it clear that awareness is the first real step to stopping it, because a problem hidden in silence only keeps growing. After saying that, Mel urged people to watch Sound of Freedom, and that's where things started getting uncomfortable. The film, released a few years back, focused on exposing how trafficking operates on a global scale, and Mel backed it heavily with public support and promotion. You'd think a movie raising awareness about such a serious issue would be welcomed everywhere, right? That's not what happened. Major streaming platforms refused to promote it. Netflix passed, Hulu passed, Amazon passed. These same companies regularly highlight social causes and awareness campaigns, but when it came to this movie, the response was silence. No features, no push, no spotlight at all. And people noticed. That raised a huge question. Why this movie? Why draw the line here? Things got even stranger when people learned the film was originally owned by Disney. Despite a strong cast and a serious message, the project was suddenly dropped without a clear explanation. That move left a lot of people confused. Rumors started spreading that there was more behind the scenes than what was being said publicly.
Propaganda in Hollywood movies is built into the ingredients list. It's like if you want flour, you need... You're going to have to get the meat. And if you want to be able to make movies about certain subjects, you have to be willing to work with some people. That, you know, it'd be nice if you made it so that this is what we're trying to accomplish. And this is showing the negative side of this other society. And this is and this is our hero. Because our hero is going to go do America's bidding and go over there. And you're like, okay.
Some believe these platforms avoided the film to keep the topic from reaching a massive global audience. Others argue it was about protecting powerful interests and avoiding controversy. No matter where you land, one thing is clear.
And those movies are successful, and so they continue this relationship, and you become a bit of a propaganda arm for the government, and in turn, they don't f with you.
Right, but that's what makes information so powerful is, you don't care how people feel about the ritual. It's about just following the ritual work. Yeah. And so you can fool yourself into thinking there isn't one, but the evidence will be clear.
The pushback against this movie only made more people curious about why awareness around this topic seems to hit a wall in Hollywood. The conversation Mel sparked didn't fade away, it only got louder. All right, this next part shows just how deep the manipulation really goes.
So like when I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses, everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not.
That is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully. That's how you understand what a ritual is.
Katt Williams and Joe Rogan had a conversation that caught a lot of attention, and once you hear it, pieces start snapping into place. Rogan explained it in a blunt way that made people uncomfortable. He said propaganda in Hollywood films is baked right into the formula. If you want to make movies about certain topics, you have to cooperate with certain people. It's not creative freedom, it's leverage. He compared it to a quiet deal where you play along, push the right messages, and in return, nobody blocks your path. You get success, protection, and access as long as you don't step out of line. That alone raised eyebrows. But what Katt Williams said took it even further. He argued it's not about how people feel about so-called rituals, it's about whether following them actually works. He brought up something people constantly criticize him for mentioning. When he talks about men wearing dresses in Hollywood, people roll their eyes and say he's obsessed with it. Katt flipped the question and said, "Show me one person who wore a dress in Hollywood and failed afterwards." That line made people pause. When you look back, many major male comedians and actors who did it saw their careers jump to another level afterwards. According to Katt, that's the pattern. Submission leads to opportunity.
I'll tell you that the number one problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be. That's the biggest problem for children in this industry.
The casting couch even applies to children.
Oh yeah, not in the same way. It's all done under the radar.
Nobody talks about pedophilia.
It's the big secret.
And it's widespread?
Oh yeah, I was surrounded by them when I was 14 years old. Surrounded, literally. Didn't even know it. It wasn't until I was old enough to realize what they were and what they wanted and what they were about and the types of people that were surrounding me till I went, oh my God, they were everywhere like vultures.
Vultures who Feldman says...
Now here's where things get even stranger. Looking at the latest Epstein document release, people notice something odd. It feels like everyone crossed paths with Epstein, except Diddy, and everyone showed up at Diddy's parties except Epstein. Their circles barely touch at all. It's like opposite magnets pushing away from each other.
Used him and his best friend, the late child actor Corey Haim, his co-star in The Lost Boys.
Well, what happens if my mom is dating the head vampire?
Feldman says the trauma of that contributed to Haim's death.
There's one person to blame in the death of Corey Haim, and that person happens to be a Hollywood mogul. And that person needs to be exposed, but unfortunately I can't be the one to do it. But the person that knows who did it and knows who he is watching right now, I guarantee you. Yeah.
Intriguing.
Yeah. There was a circle of older men in the entertainment industry.
Feldman won't name names.
That lack of overlap raises questions, because in those social worlds, separation like that is rare. When you really think about it, the silence between those two networks feels louder than any connection. This next part is heavy, but it matters if you want the full picture. Corey Feldman has been warning people about Hollywood for decades, not months or years, decades. He's spoken openly about how children in the industry can be mistreated and how that environment caused lasting trauma. Feldman has said the pain his close friend and co-star Corey Haim went through played a role in his struggles later in life. Feldman once said there was one powerful Hollywood figure he believes was responsible for the harm done to Haim, but he can't name that person publicly. He explained that doing so could destroy him legally or worse. What made people pause was when he added that the person who knows the truth is watching and knows exactly who they are. According to Feldman, these individuals stayed protected because they had power or deep connections. While Feldman avoids naming most people for legal reasons, he did name Marty Weiss in 2020. Weiss, a former talent manager, was later convicted for serious crimes. Feldman alleged Weiss harmed Haim when he was a minor, describing how harmful behavior was normalized so kids didn't even realize something was wrong. That's how grooming works, by making abuse feel routine. Feldman also spoke about situations involving Charlie Sheen, explaining how Haim believed certain behavior was just part of the business. When Haim asked Feldman about it, Feldman said no, and that's when he realized how broken the system really was. Now, with the Epstein files dropping, Hollywood is in full damage control mode. Mel Gibson warned this was coming. Katt Williams said the same thing in 2024, and look where we are now. Across decades, the pattern is clear: warnings, cover-ups, and protection at the top. So here's the question: will the truth finally come out, or will the people speaking up be silenced again? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share this with someone who needs to see it. Hit like and subscribe for more updates.